Guy Sebastian's been in the game for more than 20 years. This might be your most personal album yet.
I wrote the chorus, I was in my car.
You wrote Battle Scar chorus in your car.
I'm not releasing an album unless I'm stoked with it. I look back on things I created years ago and I cringe.
Really?
But that's a good thing. But we all have heartache. We all feel the same loss and we all feel the same struggles in life. I get to sing, like I get to write. I get to be in a studio till 5 a.m. doing what I love. No one knew who I was. And they're cheering your name and they're screaming for you. You've got to look at the bright side of life and remember how beautiful life is. I'm never going to be happy, which is the best thing. Not being happy is actually the best part of being a musician or as an artist. I just felt so emotional. I just started like cheering up, and then inside I'm going, don't cry, you weirdo. Don't be weird. It's the baby Asco. Don't ruin it.
So Guy Sebastian's been in the game for more than 20 years. 20 years of experience in the music industry. And his new album, 100 Times Around the Sun, comes out on August 8th, the Friday. Now, this might be your most personal album yet. Guy, thanks for coming on.
Pleasure. Yeah, it's been a while making this record. So yeah, 4 and a bit years.
Yeah, 4 and a bit years for an Olympic athlete. That's like a full Olympic cycle.
Whole cycle. A lot of life happens in that cycle.
What's the past 4 years look like for you?
I went through my camera roll to find a picture of my calf before I tore my Achilles, because I've been in a cast and my Achilles, my whole calf muscle is literally just, it's dead. And even as a diver, I know everyone wants to see this. So
yeah.
Look at this.
Give us a look.
Look at this elite calf, right?
What calf are we working with?
This is the good calf. Hang on. Struggling even to get the pants above it. Like,
all right.
That's not bad.
There you go. Look at this flex.
That's pretty, that's elite. That's like,
the coaches would be happy.
that's Thor-like, would you say? What would your coach say?
Oh, he'd be happy. He says mine need to look like that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I can get mine up, but not as...
No, they're tight-fitting pants, but now I can't get it back down.
The calf's too big.
Am I going to have to do the whole interview now with one leg?
That's a good problem to have.
All right, I'm doing the rest of the interview. Now look how easy this comes up.
Oh, no.
It's so pathetic.
Give us a look.
Mate, it's just like... Now, it was way worse. There was none of this. Now I can actually flex it.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't. So it just in 6-7 weeks, being in the cast, it completely died. So my mate was ripping me a little bit about my one skinny calf. And I remember taking a photo 4 years ago when I did a walk from Sydney, from Wagga to Sydney. So I walked, I'm really struggling getting this down there.
So the calf's too big. He's still flexing.
This one calf has had to work so hard for the last 10 weeks.
Yeah.
No, but like I was trying to find a good pic, and I remember because I walked 500 kilometers from Wagga to Sydney for my foundation, and afterwards my calves were like, they were so shredded. So I was trying to find that picture, and I've scrolled through the last 4 years, and as you know, it's the best. It's the best thing to do when sometimes when you're just feeling lost in a bit of a moment, you scroll through and you realize like I've done these things with my kids and like with Jules and my brothers and all my mates, and like I've been on, I've played golf and, here, and I've like skied with my kids, and I've gone to this studio here and I've watched this gig. Like I've sat in a church in Eastern Europe and like listen to this like string section playing this old church, like all this life that happens in 4 years. But then there's also pictures of being in the hospital room, and lost my wife's dad, or all of these other challenging moments, joyous moments. So all of these emotions that you flick through as you're flicking through your camera roll, and a lot happened in 4 years. So as it would for you guys as well, you're sort of in between what's supposed to be the pinnacle, and to get to that pinnacle and that village, there's so much that has to go into it. But
there is, and so many days where you feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I had a back injury recently. It took me only 7 months to get back diving. And these last 2 months I've been in the pool training. But you feel like you make no progress. And then you feel like you take a step forward and take 3 steps back. and you're like, I'm training my hardest and things just aren't working. But then they click and you just bring together a little bit and you get that glimmer of hope. From listening to some of your album, it sounds like it's this fight between vulnerability and strength. Where does that come from?
I think it's just the nature of giving myself the real estate to be able to create the album over that period of time. I used to whack out albums like periodically every year, or like my feeling was one of guilt. I thought, if I don't get an album out quickly, like I'm not being good to my fans. Like shouldn't make them wait that long, and I shouldn't be lazy. Like just get it done. But it actually wasn't. I just got one of my single titles in there. And
just dropping that in there. It's coming soon.
Yeah, get it done. And when you like it like that, you just release it, regardless of the battle scars that you face.
Got a battle scar on your finger there.
Oh, I burnt myself cooking. Anyway, I should have put a Band-Aid. That's a bit bogan, not putting a Band-Aid on that, isn't it, Lozzie? I sort of gave myself that time without the guilt to just go, I'm not releasing an album unless I'm stoked with it, like unless I really like it. And it's not the sort of album where, like, it's not electronic in the nature where I'm just putting samples together and then playing just synths. Like, there's some really great musicians and there's string players on this album. And then I wanted to make sure I waited till I could get this certain keyboard player from LA, or these gospel singers from LA, and I recorded some of it in Bali on a writing camp. Some of it was done in Nashville, some of it was done in LA, and then I got to the end and sort of just pretty much finished it all in my studio in Sydney, and then I was finally happy. Like, it's weird. It's a weird process to explain because similar to like sport, especially something like golf, right? You're never happy. You never, like, look at Scotty Scheffler. He's just won the Open, and he's in his interviews. He's not sure whether he should be fulfilled or not.
Yeah,
that's just golf. You're never happy, right, with your game, because there's always something to improve. Whether you're Tiger Woods, Scotty Scheffler, like, or just an amateur club golfer. There's so many elements of the game, your short game, your long game, like chipping, putting, and everything's got to come together, and they seldom come together all at once. And same as music. Like, with music, I'm never going to be happy, which is the best thing. Not being happy is actually the best part of being a musician or as an artist, because there's always something I can learn. There's always like,
be better.
I can always be a better player, learn better progressions. I can always be a better producer. I'll die and never be in a position of like, cool, I think I've got it locked down now. And that's such a cool feeling. It just means I'll always be inspired and always have something to shoot for. And like, you'll always be like looking for the perfect entry.
That's it. Even my best comps, you go out there and you put everything down, you feel great about it, but I could have kicked harder on that dive. Your coach is like, you should have looked tighter for the entry on that dive. But I feel like that's such a theme of high performance. You can always do better.
Yeah.
And that drives you to be better the next day. In something like music where there's no end point and it's really off feeling, how did you know when you were done this album?
That's the point as well, is that, like, you don't want to rush it. But then there's the perfectionism thing, right? Like, how do you know when you're actually ready to compete? If you're going into the Olympics.
I'd never get up and feel this is the day I've got everything. It's I think I've done enough.
You've done enough. I think that's the same mentality that you have as a creator as well. I get to this point where I feel like, as a hard worker, I go, I've overthought everything, and I've checked, like, I know that I've got to this point where I couldn't have done more. And I knew with this song, I saw the potential. There's one song called Cupid. There's another, like, there's a few songs at Antidote that took me ages, and I let it breathe, didn't rush it, did several versions of the songs, gave it every shot for the song itself to be represented in the best way. Because you might write a cracking song, but the production and the mix lets it down, and it never gets to where it is. Then all of that might go right, but then the promotion of it failed or what like there's so many elements that can stall the success or completely make this like, you know, complete lack of success for something that probably should have done really well. But at some point you got to let it go, and you got to realize that in art, like I look back on things I created years ago and I cringe.
Really?
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting it or saying like even to fans or whatever you shouldn't like that. No, it's good that I'm cringing because I feel like I overthink more now, and I'm more in like I settle for less, and I'm more poetic in the way I approach lyrics. Or that's improvement. We all want to improve. We want to get faster. We want to get, you know, like better.
Certainly.
And so I think you've got to get to a point where you go, that was a timestamp of who I was at that point in time. That's the athlete I was. That's the artist I was. That's the songwriter I was. And I'm okay with that. Because if you don't get comfortable with that, every day you're going to wake up going, oh, I've heard this other song and that snare's so much more cool. That little thuddy dump, like damp snares would be so much cooler for that song. You can think like you can improve on something all the time as an artist, but you've got to let it be the timestamp of where you were at that point.
It shows great progression too. I look back at old diving videos and I'm like, my angles were completely off. I can't believe I used to not point my toes. And it brings you forward to a place of progression. And I think something to be proud about, that you can look back and say, hey, I can do better than that now. How do you toil with that then? Because your song Get It Done, for me, Get It Done is about having a full crack at something that I don't particularly feel ready for.
Yeah.
How do you not rush something but also get it done?
I think you just have to knuckle down and think to yourself. A lot of times we feel like completion is a product of doing something that we want to do, something that we want to get done, and so often it's the things you want to do the least that you need to get it done. Like a lot of the times you don't need encouragement to like finish something you love or something that inspires you. You need the most internal encouragement to just like get the leaves off, like just get all the leaves in the backyard, like just, you know,
the task you don't want to do.
Put the bins out, like just the small things or the really big things in life. You know, fight this battle that I've got to fight. It's sometimes the stuff that's just like you don't want to do the most. So you actually just need that internal dialogue of like, man, just knuckle down, get it done. Seems like a very primitive, almost childlike thing that we teach ourselves, you know, just get it done, mate, just get it done. But it gets harder as you're older, I reckon. Like it gets harder tackling new things or tackling things that you just don't want to do. I don't know. It's been a lot of stuff I haven't wanted to do.
Something that does help is a good coffee.
It does, yes. I'll smash my coffee. Thank you.
I drink a mocha. I get a hard time from the boys about though. What do you drink?
If you get a hard time for that, I drink a flat white, but with soy milk. So a soy flat white.
Okay.
I don't even know really that much of a difference. What's the biggest difference? Latte is just more milk. Is that right? Same amount of coffee. I've got a coffee machine at home.
You make the best coffees?
Obsessed. I make good coffees. Lozzie, do I make decent coffees? Okay. I've got a great machine though. Like I've got all the tools.
Makes a difference.
No idea. All the gear, no idea. No, but I do survive on caffeine a lot, and I'm glad that we can do this interview with me being able to drink. Thank you.
Now, Get It Done talks about some of the struggles of being a recording artist. What's a struggle that most people wouldn't see that you go through?
I think it's not too dissimilar from all of our struggles, you know. Like I feel like it's just a lot of the time there's really not much difference between what an artist or you know people go through to what someone off the street goes through. It's just that it's public. I think all your struggles and everything's public and scrutinized, and I think that's the biggest difference. But we all have all of us, there's heartache. We all feel the same loss, and we all feel the same struggles in life. And someone's corporate struggle in their job is really no different to someone's career struggle as an artist. It's just that, you might lose your job, or, and you can just say to your friends and family, like, I'm making a career change. And you apply for somewhere else. When you fail as a public person, you're a failure, like as a label, like it's like a label that you've got to remember not to put on yourself just because other people put it on you. And so I think your struggles and your like perceived failures become these really strong labels that and same as an athlete, exactly the same as an athlete.
You
like,
win, you lose. Like
like if you look at what you do as a job, like if it's a diver or a swimmer, they're fighting for good times, and sometimes they'll go through certain periods of their life where everything comes together and their fitness is amazing, their lung capacity is at 100, they're like, everything's just come together. And then when it doesn't, and you go through a crappy season, you've got to realize, like, how much of these labels do I take on? And if I take them on, how's that going to affect how I bounce back, or what the next chapter in my life is? And so I would say it's that pressure, it's that scrutiny. It's that's probably the biggest one. There's heaps of, like, if I really dive into it, there's heaps of tough things, heaps, like, and also as a public figure, people just make their mind up about you, and very often, more often than not, they're completely wrong about facts. But they also just don't know you. So they just will say, oh, I don't like him for this reason. The reasons aren't even real. A lot of the reasons aren't even real.
Completely fabricated.
And so you just got to let it go. Like, as a public person, you just let it go. And if you're the type of person that can go, oh, I don't care what they think about me, great. If you're not, if you're like, oh, why would they think that about me? That is a nightmare life if you don't develop some ability to go, because that's been tough for me, just to, like, not want to disprove, like to avoid that.
Like being accepting of people can have their thoughts, because what you're talking about is so prevalent as an athlete. Like, I make an Olympics, you win a Commonwealth medal, you become a Australian champion, and those are the great things. But then you miss out on Olympics, you get injured and you can't compete, and people can say things. But I've always found it, by just focusing on my tasks at hand, it helps me push that aside. Is that your way of getting through it? How do you get through when
there's just so
swing?
much good. Like, this, like, of course there's struggles, but oh my gosh, like, let's talk about the good stuff. There's so much good. I get to sing, like, I get to write, I get to be in a studio till 5 a.m. doing what I love, not because I'm forced to, but because I can't wait to put the next layer on this little, like, piece of the puzzle of this song that I'm working on. And I'm doing it because I love it, and it's my job, and my kids are healthy, and I get to tour, and I'm in love. I think she loves me back.
High school sweetheart, right?
Yeah,
You've been doing high school.
Oh, well, we've known
amazing.
each other since high school. We didn't go to the same high school, but pretty much everyone goes to school together in Adelaide, pretty much. But yeah, like, I've known her since I was 12. I've got a great, like, my brothers are awesome. I can search for things to get down about. And of course we all do. Like, life sucks sometimes, but then
it can be amazing.
You got to look at the good stuff. There's so much good stuff. My kid loves fishing. He plays AFL. My other kid loves singing. Like, I've just got a healthy family. I couldn't ask for more. So for me, it's just mentally going, idiot, snap out of it. What are you doing? Because I do. I'll get, like, stuck in the mud. Like, we just got to not get stuck in the mud, and it can be tough when the mud just keeps getting thrown. But, like, there's so much good stuff, and Yeah, but it does. What I'm saying is, like, for you, for example, no one can tell you how to feel because you've missed out on Olympics, and people go, mate, like, be grateful you went to. Well, how many people get to go to an Olympics? Like, and you're sitting here complaining. That sucks when people do that to you and trying to frame your reality. No, but it is important to have. Like, I've got a good best mate who will just go, mate, pull your head in. There's heaps of good stuff happening.
Perspective. My coach used to remind me that when I was younger and I didn't have much outside diving, if I had a bad day at training, I'd just feel so bad about myself. And my coach would pull me aside and say, you got to have more perspective on it. There's things that are bigger than diving. More important than diving. Yeah. And as I've built things outside the pool, it makes me deal with those times a bit better.
Yeah, yeah. Kids and just life helps with that too. Like when I was younger, I was obsessed on the like things that I don't even think about now. Like I thought it was the end of my life and end of the world and like things that you'd obsess on. And now it's like, oh, like you don't care that much. Then you travel and you see how other people live and you're like, life's pretty good. And we've got it pretty good here in Australia in general.
Certainly do.
Like, yeah.
Now the people need to know, you're about to do a tour, traveling with the new album. Will there be potentially a roaming kissy cam exposing some cheating couples? Do people need to be careful of this coming to your new show?
I've done kiss cams before at my shows. Did you know that, Lozzie? I've done kiss cams at my shows
Warning
before.
to anyone that's being unfaithful at the moment.
I know that guy. His whole life has been. You know, that's a really interesting thing. Because even I've seen a lot of reactions online and I think it's one of those things where, you know, because you have these conversations and a lot of these moments on social media, they bring out important convos. And there's some, you know, there's some people that will go, oh, there's people involved here that are completely like, this is the worst possible thing that could have happened to his spouse. And we're so quick to define things like that when we actually don't know anything. Like, I don't know whether that's the worst thing to happen. How do I know that's not the best thing to happen? Because without pretending to know someone's scenario and to be the first person to judge, I would rather look at it as I don't know what that situation is. And I also don't know whether that's actually the best thing that could have ever possibly happened to her, because I don't know him. I don't know if he's a narcissist, that if they found out some other way that he's been fooling her so brazenly at a concert, to be that brazen. If he is in fact cheating, I don't even know 100% if that's the case. But all these hypotheticals that people try and judge others on, I would rather be in this position where I go, you know what I hope is that the best outcome has happened there, where it had to happen to him. Maybe it was for a reason, because we don't know whether if he was found out in some other way, he would have gaslit his partner to believe like she was crazy, or you just don't know. Maybe he was the sort of person, even for his own happiness and his own, he needed a life moment where it was that public, and maybe it happened for a reason. Maybe he needed that to be so insanely public, and like, because that was the best thing also for his partner, because now everyone in the world, you tell me what person wouldn't have gone up to her going, come here, give me a hug. Oh my gosh, like, you poor thing. She may have never ever had that if that never happened. And who knows if it ever would have come out at all, and she's just lived this lie. And so I don't know. I don't think we can jump the gun and be presumptuous as to what realities might exist, you know, because there's many different realities that could exist. And sometimes I know everyone wants to like, there's been people having a go at Coldplay. Like, legit.
Chris Martin.
Not most people aren't. Most people aren't. But some people are. some people are going, like,
shouldn't have exposed it.
Yeah, shouldn't have, like, that should exist in someone's private life. It's like,
what a concert.
Yeah, you're literally in a public concert. Like, it's,
I reckon that's the biggest gaslight of them all.
But you know what I'm saying?
It's Chris Martin.
I feel like I'm going to try and assume that that was the best thing that ever could have happened, and that if it didn't happen, she would have never got any clarity. She would have never gotten anything, and he would never have sorted himself out. So maybe sometimes we need to go through the mud. Sometimes I've needed to go through the mud, and it might seem unfair or whatever, but we come out the other side, like a little bit better when it's a bit more of an extreme burn.
Yeah, I like your way of looking at it too. Possibly some
Could be
positives
completely wrong
that
as
could
well,
come
so.
out. Yeah, that's Guy's take. Yeah, you never know. But yeah, I like that frame. Who knows? It could end up in a positive because she may go off and be happy with someone else. He might have a life check where he could relook at things. Have you ever had any moments in your life where you've had like a crazy moment where you've checked on things and readjusted? A few?
This morning, maybe?
Yesterday. Right now? It's
every day. I think there's some people incapable of it. And that's narcissism, right? Like when you can't, I can never improve. Everything I do is right, or I can justify it. That would be my worst nightmare, to be that person. I'd rather be overly self-critical than up at the other end of the scale. They're both unhealthy, but all the time.
How do you
I'm trying to think
so
of something
grounded?
interesting, like as an example, but like there's probably just too many. We talked a lot about joy before. Like I've had to remind myself of joy a fair bit lately, and that's just always we've got to look at the bright side of life and remember how beautiful life is and how important it is to create moments with your mates and with your family. Like life's so short, and your parents say it to you. And then you lose your parents, and then you actually realize that you get older, and then you're like, oh, it really is actually short. And now I just want to create awesome moments. That's where I'm at. I just want to create moments. I only want to release art if I'm 100%. Like the next album might take me 10 years. I don't know. It might take me a year. I don't know, but I'll never release anything unless I'm like fully, like, this is it. This is, I feel proud.
What about when you released Battle Scars? Did you have that moment of this is going to be a big hit when you released that song, or was it?
Not really, and only because like locally, I don't know if locally like hip hop and pop, like I don't know if rap and stuff it was sort of only coming into that world of rap being on pop radio. I think it wasn't necessarily a guaranteed for me. I knew the chorus was good. Like I wrote the chorus. I was in my car and pulled over to record this chorus.
So you wrote Battle Scar chorus in your car?
Yeah. I'm always hearing melodies. Like my phone's stacked full of like every day. There's numerous. Like I would have done 4, 5, 6, maybe more yesterday. And yeah, I grab my phone. I'll play you something I did. Hopefully I did some stuff yesterday. I think I did some stuff yesterday.
Let's have a look. This is something guys made
or at
today.
least I'll just show you. Like this is every day.
Could this possibly...
That's at 12:18 a.m. So that's even today. This is every day I'd have stuff. Like there are thousands.
Should we play one?
Oh,
is it the risky gamble?
Oh, okay. What should I play?
This could be a future song.
It could be. Hang on. What's this one here? I swear, didn't want to get into something so quickly. I did. It's no words. Didn't want to get into something so quickly. I know it's not enough. I didn't know my time. And everything I wanted just to know. So hard to love enough, my love enough, so hard enough. Didn't wanna go so quickly, didn't wanna love too much, so hard to love, so hard to love.
You heard it here first. New song Could be in the next album.
I don't even know. It wouldn't be hard to like. I always just say words that phonetically feel hooky.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be that. And that chorus probably sounds like something else. And so I'll always start with something like that and then just narrow it down. But I'm constantly writing. So in my car, I heard, but that was a rare one where I heard the melody. But when I went to record the voice note, I actually sang, "These battle scars, don't let them fade, and they're never gone away." Like most of the words came out just naturally, which very rarely happens. It's always just the melody. I wasn't feeling things. Like I wasn't like in this mode of like hurting and like feeling battle scars. It just came out weirdly naturally with that. So I feel like some things are just meant to be as well. It's really weird. Like, where did that come from? And sometimes it can come, I'm not joking, from like the bus when it breaks, the bus might go, "Ah," and it's melodic.
Yeah.
And because I'm tuned into melodies, like that might trigger it. Just by the that the bus did, it might like trigger a song. So I had the chorus, and then we got to my mate's house. Now this wasn't planted. This was there for this is the Sony.
It's actually a prop if it doesn't work.
And then you put these guitar like. Sorry, I can't reach. Here we go.
Sorry.
Like these chords.
It's beautiful.
It's just that underneath the melody that I'd sung in the car, then it starts to come to life. So then I've got the chords, I've got the melody, and then I've got these verses, and I'm like, oh, should I write a verse? Started to write some verses, but I really only got as far as writing the pre-chorus. Wish I couldn't touch. Wish that I could stop loving you so much, 'cause I'm the only one that's trying to keep us together when all other signs say that I will get it. So, and then I was like, I should just leave the verses. Like, I'll leave the verses and I'll get a rapper, because at the time I was obsessed with, there was an album called Lasers by Lupe Fiasco, and I was like, that, and then his previous project as well. B.O.B. was blowing up. Do you remember B.O.B.? He had the what was those?
Yeah, I think I.
And Airplanes with Haley. Yes. He had a big song with Airplanes. He had a big thing with Bruno.
Yeah.
B.O.B. and Bruno. So that was probably the start of like this rapper singer kind of thing. And so I was like, I'll get Lupe. Like I'll shoot for Lupe. I probably won't get him. I'll just get someone else. Wrote to Lupe, sent him that song, and he came back within days, and he was like, "Dude, freaking love this song. I'm in Sydney for something called Superfest. Something. It was like there was some festival on that he was flying to Sydney for. I was like, dude, come to my studio. Like, we'll just get it down. And he's lobbed up, and he's got this like freaking massive bodyguard with him, like this giant person that just dropped him off. And then it's just me and Lupe in the studio, and he starts rapping, and I start crying.
Wow, from his rap.
Dude, so the what you don't want to do when you're in the room making music with like a hip hop dude.
Tough?
That's cool. Like Lupe's cool. He's a samurai and stuff now. Like he's jacked. Is when you're in the studio, like he starts rapping and you start like tearing up. That's what happened. He started rapping and I just literally started welling up in my eyes because I'd always imagined it to sound a certain way, and he made it that, but 1,000 times better.
Exceed your expectations.
And the lyrics he was singing, like, because Lupe's so deep, I saw his process, and he came in and he goes, yo, I got a couple of different versions of this, man. Like I've written a verse, but if you don't dig that verse, I've got a whole other verse. That's a terrible Lupe. Sorry, Lupe. You sound way cooler than that. But he had written 2 or 3 different versions because he wanted to do the song justice. And so then he ends up putting the first one down and he starts rapping, never let a wound ruin me, but I feel like ruins wooing me. Arrow holes that never close from Cupid on a shooting spree, feeling stupid because I know there ain't no you and me. And when you're trying to beat the odds up and trying to keep the nods up and you know that you should know and let it go, but the fear of the unknown, hearing another lover's phone sends you back into the zone with no Tom Hanks to bring you home. A lover, not a fighter, on the front line with a poem, trying to write yourself a rifle, maybe sharpen up a song to fight the tanks and drones of you being alone.
I got shivers just hearing that
I'm
from
like,
you.
I'm sitting in the studio like, and it was just so, it's different to doing a session where you're just writing about being in the club and like everyone's shaking their booty and they're slapping and like it's just so all the analogies of like Saving Private Ryan and all these different battle analogies and he's just so deep. And when you hang out with Lupe, like his mind is always on. He's always thinking. Like the waitress might come over and say something and he absorbs it, and then it's like he's looking into someone's soul. He's like so analytical and he's so deep. And so I don't know, I just felt so emotional. I just started like tearing up, and then inside I'm going, don't cry, you weirdo, don't be weird, it's Lupe Fiasco, don't ruin it. And that was it. And then I got to the end of the song and I went, this is good. Like, this sounds really good. This is exactly what I wanted for it. But I still didn't know. I still didn't know it would like do well. I think it's his biggest tune as well.
Wow.
And I think so. He's got Show Goes On, like Kanye stuff.
That was a multi-award winning song.
I should know that. Hang on, let's look that up. Is that also Lupe's biggest song?
Yours and Lupe's biggest song, Battle Scars.
Hey, ChatGPT. No, I'm joking.
I use it so much. Because when I was a kid, Battle Scars was like the song. When I was in primary school.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I think it is. It's The Show Goes On. No, down and the show goes on. All right. That's had 382 million. Battle Scars had 405 million streams.
Wow.
And a few of these are before the streaming thing, like Kick Push, and those songs would be just billions. That's just Spotify, yeah, 400 on Spotify. Then there's, Apple Music.
Insane.
Anyway, that's pretty cool.
So, nearly the biggest song for both you guys, and he probably wouldn't have realised at the time either what gold had just been made.
You never do, right? Like, and I think it started getting smashed at college radio over in the States. That's what made it go platinum over there, is it started getting smashed at college radio and then started to spread around. Because there's a lot of kids, like, or they were kids, like a lot of young people that I meet in the US all the time, and they're like, you're the Battle Scars dude, man. God, we love that song, man. We love that song growing up in college. That was our jam. I've got to stop doing these stupid accents.
No, we love them. It gets me in the moment. It takes me there.
Look at Lozzie's face. She's married to an American.
Is the accent good?
Mm-mm.
Nah. I like it. I feel like it takes me there.
It's not. But,
having such a massive hit quite early on in your career, what was life like during that time? Was it like all my dreams are coming together? This is happening. How did you manage that? And how were you feeling when your dreams just came true?
I don't know if I felt that then. I don't know if I've ever felt it in one hit.
Okay.
I think it's just been constant pinch myself moments. Constant. Like, the biggest one I reckon was my last tour. Even more so than Idol. Like obviously Idol was just, I think I was just in a blur. Idol happened so fast. I was so full of gratitude, because it's always a very difficult thing to explain. the ultimate exchange of love by strangers. Like it's literally, no one knew who I was. Like when they cheer for someone who's a sports like person, like someone who's an Olympian or whatever, they just want the best for you and stuff. And they're cheering your name and they're screaming for you. This is a scenario where people actually spent, I think it was 55 cents to vote for me. Stranger, multiple times. Like there's families that like even the Barnes family, like Jimmy Barnes's family, like Jane, they told me like that they had all their phones out and they were voting and stuff, and it's just so supportive. And other families that would tell me, they're like, oh, we spent so much money voting for you. And I don't know them, but they looked at me, this weird looking fuzzy haired bloke from Adelaide, up against the biggest legend from Condo, Shannon, who is, I just love Shan. He's such a good dude. And we're up there, just two complete like novices getting voted for by complete strangers. So I felt unbelievable gratitude during Idol, but it was a blur. And then like fast forward to all these moments where I'm like at the ARIAs or I'm on tour and it might be like, it's not always the biggest moments that people think it is. It's like, it might be a sold out show in Griffith, or it might be a sold out show on stage with Taylor Swift or on my own show, like at Margaret Court Arena or something. But it's not always what people think it is, where I feel like moments of pride. It's sometimes like it is. I'm in the countryside and there's just a group of blokes that come up, like a few builders just came up to me on the way in here. Just a bunch of like knockabout blokes that came up and they were so kind to me, just so nice, and said such kind words. It just makes my day. It's like reshifted my whole day, just so how nice they were out the front. And I don't know. I'm a bit less about the big things than I am. David Letterman, that was a moment. Like it was always a dream of mine to sing on David Letterman.
Yeah.
So I sang on David Letterman. That was pretty cool. And Jimmy Fallon and like Conan and those guys. That was cool doing that little run of shows. And then my last tour. That was the biggest. Yeah, that was my biggest moment for me. Just it was all sold out, and I'm always so scared about going on tour because I like, what if no one comes? I know it sounds silly, but you think that.
It's good to hear because everyone worries about, you throw a birthday party, will people show up? It's amazing to hear, even as a very successful Australian singer, you have similar thoughts to me or my friend. When I throw a birthday party, like, well, you think about that?
Tour, like you're charging for tickets, and then you've got like internationals coming here with billions. Like literally, it's $1 billion budget, and then you're an Aussie, and you me or Dean Lewis or Dean's all over the world, but you might, I don't know, all the different Aussie. Your Hilltop Hoods, whatever it is, a band or you need that kind of local pride and that local, like, oh, he's one of ours. Like,
especially coming from Adelaide, like a small
town
place.
Well, every country has it, right? Every
Adelaide.
country I go to has this real pride in their own, and we've got that here too.
What's the training look like? For like, I know as a diver, we do gym of a morning, we dive of an afternoon. That's like our training. As a singer, so much training goes into it from when we spoke last. Can you share some of that training and how hard it is?
Yeah, I mean, it's a combo of the 10, 20,000 hours that you've put in, and then tons of a lot of thought goes into a tour. So a lot of thought before the physical rehearsal, a lot of thought about the show. And a lot of work from your team, like, and you guys have teams and coaching staff. Like what people don't see is so I've mentioned Lozzie over here a lot, and I've got George on my team. Your team are on the phone. Another George, he's my sound, my production manager. They're calling venues, like how big's the stage. What lighting trusts have you got? What's the weight capacity they can hold? What's the road like what's the loading dock like? Can we fit this truck in there? Every venue, every tiny little bit of detail. What can we afford? What's the budget? Are you going to be like out of pocket after the end of this tour if you get this amount of lights, or if you have this, like if you put screens where they can actually see your face and you've got cameramen there, you're going to end up in debt for $2 million or whatever. like that. All the tiny amount of details before you can even get creative. And no one sees it. No one sees that work. But there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes. And I never thank them for it because I don't want them to get arrogant. So
keep them grounded.
Oh, you have to. You have to.
I heard this saying that if a production manager does their job right, you shouldn't even know their job exists.
Exactly. Yeah, I take that to the end.
So
I'm joking, by the way.
No,
I
know,
love my people, and they're all my friends, and I'm very grateful. But there's heaps that go into it. I'll try and answer it shorter because
we love the details.
I'm very challenged with short answers. Like
we like long answers.
That's the worst. But yeah, there's so much that goes into it. But the thought for me, I'm thinking about the set list, and I'm like, oh, what are they going to feel here? And when I come out, what do they feel? And then from there, what I want them to feel after that. Like, can't go into a ballad here because then they're going to be stuck in that weight of ballads, and there's too much love there. I need a little bit of angst and a little bit of like, you're just thinking about the journey that you're taking people on, and then musically, it's like, how do I breathe life? New songs, I can. It's a little less pressure because they're new. I just need to perform them as is, maybe with little bits of changes. Battle Scars, like
you got to change it up,
bro. Like I'm not just. I've got to sort of give it some new life. I did this awesome version. The most repetitive song I've ever written is "Who's That Girl?"
Yeah,
and it's a super old song, but I did the coolest version of it last tour. It was awesome. Scotty, my MD, I sat down with him and we were working out some chords. I was like, I don't know if you know, there's a guy called Lunch Money Lewis. You would have definitely heard his songs. He's got this song it's synced on so many commercials. It's like, I got bills.
Oh, yes.
I gotta pay. So I wanted it to feel like that. And so anyway, you're always reimagining and like trying to give every tour some sort of different feel. And so that's where most of the work is actually in the arrangements, I'd say, musically. And yeah, it's just, I'm the most nervous ever. First show of any tour. There's no more nervous that I get before the first show of every tour I've ever done. The first show. After it, or even maybe halfway through it, I feel no nerves. I just need to know that it's started and that they're having fun.
Yeah.
Once I can see joy on their face or like see a bit of emotion or whatever, I'm like, okay. But up until that point, I am shaking with nerves, and it's the only time I get nervous. I can be like performing Eurovision, billions of people, whatever. Not nervous at all. Live shows, live TV, never nervous. First show of a tour, riddled with like the shakes and everything. Yeah.
Wow. I suppose because you've performed in front of the Queen, and that you get more nervous before your first show on your tour than performing in front of the Queen or in front of a billion people.
Definitely. Because for me, it's the Queen, and I know the Queen's important, or the Pope's important, or Oprah, or all these people that I've got to.
I suppose it's your show.
No, but like they're no more important to me, personally, than like, as in, it's not going to make me more nervous, like because they're the Queen or it's Beyonce or whatever. I'm nervous more just like, oh my gosh, that's the Queen. But to perform, I'm more nervous about someone paying physical money to come to one of my shows. They want to be there. Like they've actually paid to be there. I don't think the Queen's like a mad Guy Sebastian fan. She had to meet me, you know. Like, the Pope, he had to meet. That was forced upon him meeting Guy Sebastian from Australia. That was.
No, I'm sure he enjoyed it. He'll brag about
I
that.
left my mark on the Pope. I feel
Yeah?
like
What'd you say?
did.
What'd you say to the Pope?
I said, it's an honour meeting you. Thank you for the opportunity. He thanked me for a song that I wrote for this thing called World Youth Day. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It's like I'm not a Catholic, but I grew up in church. World Youth Day, there was like 500,000 people that came more to Australia for this Catholic event, and it's all like very peaceful. Like it's like this really loving gathering.
Yeah.
And it was at Randwick Racecourse. There was 500,000 people. There was like 2 billion people watching. The Pope came. I wrote the theme song for it. And I didn't even know, like my one of my best mates, he was best man at my wedding, Gary Pinto. He's a singer. He came over one night. He's really, really faithful Catholic, and he's like, "Oh mate, there's this event. It's called World Youth Day. They need a theme song. They're not settled on a theme song yet, and it's here in Australia. Do you want to write something?" And I sat at the piano. I grew up in church, so the first thing I started singing, it would have been 5 minutes of me singing like Hallelujah, Hallelujah, receive the power from the Holy Spirit, Hallelujah. And I just wrote this song, and that was it. We submitted it the next morning, and they came back that day. They're like, "We love this. This is the theme song."
Wow. You wrote it that day?
It was so fast. I wrote it the night before, and it had to be submitted the next day. And I think by the end of that next day, it was selected as the theme song. And then next minute I'm singing on Satan the Pope is like shaking my hand, thanking me. I didn't ask if I could like ride in the Pope Mobile or anything. I was
no, theme
very
song.
respectful.
I reckon you might have a bit of sway holding the theme song for that.
It was pretty cool. It was 500,000 people, but amazing. Like meeting the Pope. Who gets to meet the Pope?
It's insane.
What? It's crazy.
And being a
Very
host, being a host on The Voice, you would have mentored so many young people. What's something you wish you'd known when you were a young artist coming through?
You can't please everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a lot of layers to that. I'm giving such long answers. I feel bad.
No, we
Sorry.
love the long answers.
Oh, your SD card's full. Sorry, dude. Just you can't please everyone. Like I feel, I touched on it earlier, but you just can't. You got to do your best and not lose who you are. Because you can so easily just try and please everyone, and when you got that personality of like you just don't want to let anyone down, or these people think this certain thing about you and they've heard this rumor, or they think this one thing, they've summed you up, you'll just waste your energy trying to disprove them. Just be yourself. Love people as much as you can. You'll never be perfect. People will love you, some will hate you, doesn't matter. Don't waste your energy. Like, just be as authentic as you can, and don't waste your energy going into a dark place because you've spent all this time trying to please everyone or disprove denounce lies or whatever. It's just a waste of time.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
I love that. I love that. And your fragrance, Embrace.
Yes.
How do you come up with it? Do you sit in the room, smell a bunch of stuff, and you're like, yep, put this together and that? How do you actually come up with the scent? And what does the scent mean to you?
I flew to Cuba and hiked up there. There's this mountain. It's one of the highest peaks in Cuba, and there's this very rare lily that grows halfway up the mountain. And at a certain point of the year, I'm so sorry, Lozzie, you ruined it. Why
are we laughing?
None of this is true. There's no truth. I was going to say I scraped the pollen off.
I was about to say, this story sounds like a monk.
No, it's not. It's not as interesting as that. No, there's a company that's based in New York. Sorry.
No, I love it. You knew you sold me.
Yeah, you were so into that story. Like,
I
hang
didn't
on,
know this man hikes mountains.
is there mountains in Cuba? And so no, so it. I've been obsessed with fragrance my whole life, and it's it's just been a thing for me. Like it started with my dad. My dad has always worn fragrance, and you know, I really look up to my dad, and for me, he was always my hero. So he'd be off to work, and he worked on oil rigs as a geologist. So he'd go away for a month, and he'd leave, and my dad's scent would still be there, and that was always so, like, it was always so masculine to me. It was like he's the provider, and my dad was just my hero. He still is. My dad's my hero, and so the fragrance is actually named after him. My dad's name's Ivan. Yeah. And he's been going through a lot of health stuff recently. He's sweet. Yeah, no, he's all right, but he's been going through hell, and so I've called the fragrance Ive, so IVE, after my dad, just because everyone would always ask my dad, "Oh, your dad smells so good. Your dad smells so good," and so I became obsessed a long time ago when I was young with fragrances, and I used to be like pretty poor, so I could only really afford like the fake stuff, and I'd like buy the little samplers and and then since I've started traveling as an artist, like whenever I travel, especially like through the Middle East and some of these other places where you can get really, you know, Italy that has some amazing noses in Italy, and so I've always collected scents that are very hard to get, and been obsessed with fragrance. So was approached a little while ago to see if I wanted to do a fragrance through Chemist Warehouse, and for me it was like, I want to do it, but I want to create something. Firstly, I did female fragrance, so Embrace, and I feel like Embrace is almost something I'd wear as well. It's more of a feminine scent, but it's quite unisex as well, and then I did Embrace Nights, but they're sort of they're mainly for a feminine scent, and then I wanted to do a masculine scent, but I became very nervous to do it because there's so much pressure. But it's only one of the whole chapter, right? So again, like creating it's one song of the album, and so I've settled on something that I really like. But my goal is to, like, not everyone can get oud and, like, you know, bergamot and everything, where it's like, oh, here's a $400 or, you know, like super expensive fragrance. I wanted to create something that was super affordable for blokes, but that it still smells really like expensive, and it smells. I was trying to find a better word, but expensive is a good word.
No, it smells expensive.
Smells expensive.
Reasonably priced.
Yeah.
I don't think there could be a better sales slogan. Something I could afford when I was young.
Yeah, well, it's
Happy
like
days.
a little bit spicy, a little bit oudy, little bit Middle Eastern inspired, but still has a sweetness to it. And I mix a lot, so even now I mix. I only started doing a few years ago when I started doing the mixing for this fragrance. Yeah. So I've found that the experience awesome. It's just difficult for me to articulate what I want. I know what I want to smell, but in music I'll be like, just you know, notch a little bit of 3K, cut off everything below 80. I want to hear, you know, a little bit more tambourine. I know how to ask for what I need. Yeah. Sometimes, how do you say a scent?
No, I get you.
How do you like articulate that? It's really difficult.
Even when you're talking to me, but I'm like trying to piece it together. I'm like, I couldn't find the words to come up with how something smells, but it sounds like all your senses from your ears to your nose just work together in this creative flair.
Yeah, but not necessarily like the ability for all of that to then like
come out the mouth. Yeah.
Like when someone puts you on the spot, they're like, "Oh, what are you tasting in this wine?" You're like, in the Scotch, like you're like, notes of patchouli. I don't know, like it, but it's it's really difficult to describe. But I got better at describing it.
Love it.
And then they send heaps of samples of what they think, and then back and forth. You're like more tonka bean, more. You're just back and forth, and then you settle on something that feels right, and you just hit go. So hit go on Ive, and I think it smells great. Like it's a really good mix of it's got a sweet essence that kind of comes through after you get this really nice burst of spice and oud, and it feels good. Yeah, it feels good.
100 Times Around the Sun. The album is out now. We're here with the man himself. Guy, what's the past 4 years look like making this album?
It's lots of ups and downs, but lots of joy, lots of love. If I had to summarize it, the last 4 years have been really about inner circle, like who's in my inner circle, who can I actually contribute to, like try not to please everyone, but actually be something significant to a small amount of people, and realizing the importance of community and the people that we love, and just to enjoy life again.
Love it. Last time we caught up, you were raving about your family, so it looks like you're doing a really good job of that.
I love them. Still love them. They're all right.